YouTube. It's Domino here. I'm going to start doing some tarot card readings, and I'm going to do oracle cards as well. But I figured I'd start with these. This deck is the Mind's Eye Tarot by Olivia Rose here. This one was a gift from a friend of mine, as will be the other one that I'm going to use here shortly. Anyway, get right to it. I'm going to do a 3-card spread. I'm not going to spend too much time on this as I'm starting out, but I will, anyway. Let's see, what do we need? What do you need to know? Past, present, or future? Past, present, and what do we got here? Alright, so first off we have the High Priestess here, number 2. That kind of got a bit of a glare. Let me see if I can turn that down a bit. Can you see that? I got a janky setup here, so bear with me. I don't want to get the glare out of it. Yeah, there's the High Priestess. Then we have number 12, the Hanged Man, which is that one there. You can see that. And then we have the Knight of Wands for the future. Okay. I'm going to read from the book because I'm not too familiar with these cards just yet. I haven't used them a whole lot. Stand these up right here so I get that to work just right. Where's the book? There it is. Alright, starting with the High Priestess. Where are you at? Magician, High Priestess. Okay. It says the High Priestess sits and reflects on her spiritual. High Priestess sits and reflects on her spirituality and deep yearning for knowledge. She remains still and keeps a watchful eye on events around her. The High Priestess card indicates spiritual enlightenment and gaining a deeper knowledge of your innermost self. Look for your answers within. And in the upright, it means higher power, discovering spirituality, spiritual creativity, gaining and sharing wisdom and erudition, yearning for growth and knowledge. My right ear is ringing all of a sudden. So that may be something for y'all. Let's see if I can get a closer look at that card here. There's that. I'm not going to spend too much time trying to interpret the visuals of the cards because they're very abstract and hard to. I'm not, like I said, I'm not too familiar with these cards yet, so. The reverse meaning of the High Priestess here is hidden motives, outbursts, and confusion, repressed feelings, which is not in reverse. So, we're not going to worry about that. I'm just going to read them wholesale so you know what they're representing here. The Hanged Man. Where are 12. The hangman meditates upside down in a state of higher consciousness. The hangman is in a peaceful state surrounded by protective minds. Serenely waiting for the enlightenment that comes from enduring and embracing hardship. The hangman card is all about patience and self-discipline, spiritual evolution and enlightenment, as well as new perspective. New perspectives. Upright meaning of this card is spiritual awakening, purity, simplicity, and altruism, releasing expectations, letting go of material things, suspension, patience, and self-control. The reverse meaning of this card is negative patterns, destructive self-righteousness, materialism, selfishness, and trying to force outcomes. And then the Knight of Wands here. We'll go and read that one through. King of Wands, where are you? Knight, okay. And the Knight of Wands here. I can't use this, so I can get that on there. The Knight of Wands indicates a good time to travel or embark on something new. If the Knight of Wands appears in your reading, it's the perfect time to start that project you've been planning to do. Try not to be too impetuous, as you must keep a realistic perspective on your ideas and tasks. Don't be too hasty now in your decisions, or you will have to sort things out later. Freedom of spirit. The upright meaning of this card is freedom of spirit, adventure, impulsiveness, and hasty decisions. In the reverse, it means impatience, recklessness, and frustration. So, what I'm getting from this is with the High Priestess, I'm getting the sense that stands for standing in your power and being firm in your decisions. Basically, is what I'm getting. Along with the Hangman, is to take time to consider all the possible angles of a situation or whatever you may be wrestling with mentally or emotionally. And then the Knight of Wands is telling me look at all the angles before you make a decision, so that you don't end up regretting the choices you make. So that's your reading for today. It's past right here, present, and future. Which, and it's kind of funny. I've been thinking about making a move myself, literally traveling. But I have a lot of decisions to make before I can cross that bridge, so to speak. So maybe that's something for you guys to contemplate as well with these cards, and whatever decision you're maybe processing through right now. Anyway, I'm gonna jump over my oracle cards here and see what we can come up with. deck here was also a gift from another friend of mine. And I figured it'd be fitting that I use these two decks for my first attempt at reading cards here. So let's pull 3 cards, see what comes up. And this is the Crystal Mandala Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. Or Elena Fairchild. These are, let's see, what do we got here? Got 1 card. Do I take that one? Yeah, I'm going to shuffle these some more. These aren't quite shuffled yet, so I'm going to shuffle these some more. I think those are in order and not very well mixed yet. Take that one. Oh, that's funny. Alright, I'm going to keep that one. I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay. 2 more cards, please. Okay, so we got Goddess Pele and Lava Stone, and we have Goddess Bastet and Cat's Eye, and we have Goddess Gaia and Ocean Jasper for our 3 cards. So, I'll show you these cards real quick, and then we'll read through the book to see what they mean. Turn the light on, it's getting dark already. Alright. You can see that. Where's the... glare out of that. So there's that one. That's Goddess Pele. This card says, melt into divine alchemy. Or, excuse me, melt into divine desire. And then we have Goddess Bastet. See that card there. And it says, sacred pleasure. The gemstone for Goddess Pele is the lava stone, as you can see right there. I'm not sure what a lava stone is. Obsidian, maybe, I suppose? Or not, no, it's igneous rock, yeah. stone. And then we have Goddess Gaia and Ocean Jasper. And the card says Goodwill on it. So, what does the book say about these? Goddesses Pele, number 54. Where are you? Way back there. Three and four. Okay. Goddess Pele and the Lava Stone. Melt into divine desire. We bring you the empowerment of melting into divine desire. There is a time and place on the spiritual path for detachment. The ability to step back and perceive from a neutral perspective can bring great clarity. There is a time for the mind to become clear and peaceful and open to divine guidance, even if that means temporary loss for greater long-term gain. There is also a time to melt into divine desire, to allow your passion to motivate and inspire you to attain great progress on your divine life journey, where less fervent longing could not. Desire does not have to be a distraction from your divine path. It can be a way you discover what has meaning for you and what you feel strongly enough about. To never give up on. Desire sometimes gets a bad rap in spiritual circles, or it is celebrated as being something that should be pursued without restraint. The truth that will serve most spiritual aspirants best is somewhere in the middle of these two extremes. Desire need not be a distraction from your spiritual journey, nor a goal to be pursued at any cost, even to your own integrity. Desire on the spiritual path can become a way to know what is going to move and inspire you enough to see you through the challenges that arise when you want to create a contribution to the world. If you long to bring your ideas to life rather than keep them only as ideas, then desire can become enlivening fuel for the spiritual path, motivating you to act rather than hesitate. Searching for your true soul desires. I need to slow down. Searching for your true soul desires helps you find what it is you can believe in more than fear or doubt. Divine desire is not so different to the passing desires of the mind, except that it is strong enough to motivate you even if the delayed gratification is more than you would always wish, or the results can be swift, but what is required for you to obtain them may be so outside your comfort zone that for anything else, you wouldn't be willing to go through the discomfort. The passing desires of the mind will hold your attention for a little while, passing in some days or months or in an instant as soon as a shinier option comes into view. Let's see that, that kind of plays into the tarot cards I was looking at with the Knight of Wands here. So that kind of plays into that pretty well. The divine desire of the soul will be enough to hold you mesmerized for lifetimes. For you to be able to melt into your divine desire, you will need to open up to yourself completely. There is no holding back in shame, no thinking that it's weird to think about life so deeply or that others won't understand you and judge you, and that you should just be normal like everyone else. If you want to live a life of passionate purpose where you are melting in love rather than living in fear or trying to progress only by a harder approach of constant discipline, then you are going to need to look within and really see what moves you. Don't be shy. You are going to find divine beauty inside you. There's a lot to read here. The more you peel back the layers of the mind, the more pure, simple, and clear your divine desire will be. You might initially believe you have many desires in your soul. freedom, fun, justice, creativity, celebration of life, living joy, empowerment, opening of the mind, healing of the heart, liberation of the spirit, protection of the soul. Yet there will be one or two you come back to again and again that seem to include all the others. These are the things that matter most to you, that inspire you, that give you a sense of meaning and purpose at a deep inner level where your conscious mind cannot quite grasp it, and truth be told, it doesn't need to. Giving yourself permission to discover and honor your divine desire is what connects you to Pele, the passionate volcanic goddess, radiant with power. When the oracle melts into divine desire comes to you, Pele is reaching for you. She will empower you to let your desire move you. If you want to know just how powerful desire can be, think of the power of a volcano erupting. Imagine being able to channel that raw power into fulfillment of your soul and manifesting your dreams in the world. That is what this blessing of Pele brings you. If you are a thinking person who finds it hard to feel, Pele will help you tune into your heart. If you are analytical, rational, and need a reason for everything before you do it, she will assist you in taking the journey from your head to your heart and in realizing there doesn't always need to be a logical explanation for everything. If you are already, wow, tongue twister. If you are already a feeling person, already know what you desire, and already feel like a gooey melted mess of divine deliciousness most of the time, then Pele is your kindred sister. Her radiance will mirror your own as you two shine with luscious light, as your passionate purpose manifesting in the world is only a matter of divine timing. And we will go 44. Number 44, Goddess Bastet and Cat's Eye, Sacred Pleasure. We bring you the empowerment of sacred pleasure. It is said that the spirit had to be enticed into the body. It is said that the spirit had to be enticed into the body to give up its complete freedom and willingly take on an experience of limitation that could lead to divine growth. It needed the deal to be sweetened, so music was created, music that could only be felt and expressed through the body. Spirit jumped in like a flash, and life was created. There is more life that can be created in you and your world. Although there are undoubtedly struggles as a natural part of opening up to more life, there is divine sweetness too. That is the gift of sacred pleasure. This is the pleasure that gives you joy in your aliveness. It is innocent, sensual, and life-affirming. It is time for you to receive more of this. The oracle says it's time to put a little sugar in your bowl. Pleasure and pain are part of the dance of life. You can enjoy pleasure without fearing you'll become addicted to it, and no longer be able to bear your pain. In fact, knowing you have access to genuine natural pleasure can be a way to manage your pain more effectively. It might seem strange, but there can be an addiction to pain just as much as an addiction to pleasure. I can totally relate to that. My life has been a wild ride. I'll just put it that way. It might seem strange, but there can be an addiction to pain just as much as an addiction to pleasure. Perhaps even more so considering the state of most people's lives these days. Pain has its rightful place in life, but pleasure does too. For many people, there is actually pain that arises when they first learn how to feel genuine pleasure. Confusion, shame, guilt, and fear of being lazy can enter the mind and cause tension in the body. making it difficult to let go and be in an experience of enjoyment. Pleasure is a form of release. It is about surrender and letting go into the moment. When there is a yearning for pleasure, whether it be the healthy, conscious expression of playfulness or the addictive craving for an artificial high, the, deep, the deeper part of you is letting you know you've wound yourself up too tight. You are trying to control yourself rather than learn to identify and meet your needs in a healthy way. The stronger and more destructive the yearning for pleasure becomes, because whilst healthy pleasure because whilst healthy pleasure creates energy, addictive pleasure depletes your life force and free will. The more you know your being is reacting against the more you know your being is reacting against a degree of control you are trying to impose on yourself. You may then try to control yourself more in an effort to overcome the yearning for pleasure, but it's just going to inflame the inner battle further. The way most addictive personalities release the inner tension of this battle is to then go to the other extreme by acting out of control in a destructive manner. Then there is shame, judgment, and recrimination, and the whole cycle starts again. This is exhausting to the body and the mind. The way to shift out of the inner battle for and against your own pleasure is to begin by realizing the difference between the control. Bear with me, sorry. I have some missing teeth in my mouth, and they're making it hard to talk. The way to shift out of the inner battle for and against your own pleasure is to begin by realizing the difference between control and loving, firm holding. Control is an attempt at suppression and denial based on fear and lack of acceptance. Loving, firm holding provides a sense of safe and healthy discipline, but it does not repress any need or desire. It accepts and acknowledges all needs and then chooses the most loving way to meet them with consciousness and presence. It is free from shame, self-judgment, guilt, and self-hatred. It is based on self-respect and loving the body and mind enough to care for them, rather than try to control and dominate them from a fearful place. As you shift from control to loving, firm holding of yourself, you become able to accept pleasure into your life in many more ways. You feel more open and responsive to life and its sensual beauty, and your body and mind can be nourished out of a pain-based way of living into a lifestyle that allows for more sacred pleasure. The joy this creates can sustain and strengthen you for the times when there is pain you need to move through in order to grow. Rather than pain being your everyday experience, it then becomes a phenomenon that comes into your life and then moves on once the purpose of it, your healing and growth, has been fulfilled. This oracle comes to you with healing guidance. The Universal Mother knows you have suffered and wants to sweeten your deal. If you allow her, she will assist you in purging the self-loathing that has placed you in a painful bind of fear-based control. She will help you love yourself so you can experience the sacred pleasure your life is meant to bring to you. If you've already done this work on yourself and find that bringing sacred pleasure to others through your loving consciousness is part of your life's mission and soul purpose, the oracle brings you confirmation of this. There is value in teaching strength, and there is value in providing a safe way for others to experience the sacredness of pleasure as an act of loving life. I won't bother to read the healing process section of this, because that's another full page of extra stuff, and that's mantras and application of what the card is trying to tell you. And then we have 45. Goddess Gaia and Ocean Jasper. Goodwill. We bring you the empowerment of goodwill. There's a type of spiritual power you can co-create which benefits and protects you whilst mutually empowering others to take their journey and experience divine success. The spiritual power known as goodwill is generated by how you feel inside and the attitude you cultivate toward others. When you know you have value, it is easy to recognize the value in another. When you feel encouraged by the universe, it is easy to encourage others. As you put out support, encouragement, and goodwill for the success of all beings, this energy is amplified. This energy is amplified and returned to you. When you feel peace within, my crown's starting to vibrate. I'm getting tingly up here in the head. Wow. Okay, that's new. Anyway, sorry. When you feel peace within, it's easier to recognize that you have a place in the world and a destiny no one can take away from you. And when you recognize that, sorry, I noticed all stuffed up. And when you recognize that, it's easier to know that others also have their own place destined for them alone. This removes fear and competition and allows you to become an encourager. An encourager is a person who generates goodwill. They are not afraid of missing out. They believe in their own destiny and operate within a field of abundance. They trust that their rightful divine inheritance will be bestowed upon them according to a loving and generous divine intelligence. They trust that all people can receive without causing harm or diminishment to any other. They believe in win-win situations and know the only way humanity can evolve is together. So they want others to succeed. They are happy to be at the cosmic traffic lights, so to speak, and allow the others who have a green light to go first. They know their time for a green light will come in due course. And so it shall be for all taking their journey on the divine highway of life. Goodwill that is cultivated by individuals becomes part of a collective field. It is the psychic equivalent of a group of angels, perhaps with cheerleader pom-poms waiting in the sidelines until someone needs help. They then burst forward with unparalleled enthusiasm to rally the person's spirits and boost their confidence. If you have ever attended a sporting game with a cheer squad in attendance, you'll know just how effective encouragement can be for the teammates in the game to tap into their strength of will and refuse to give up. The stronger that field of goodwill created on a day-to-day basis by individuals, the more encouragement is available to whomever needs it, whenever they need it. It is very real. Although the prospect of angelic cheerleaders might be amusing, the energy of goodwill has the power to reach into another person's life and turn desperation into determination. It is a force worth cultivating in our world by simply wishing each person well and being an encourager because of this alone. However, there is a further benefit to goodwill. For those who consciously cultivate it, it becomes a protective field against ill-wishing, which is the opposite of goodwill. Ill-wishing and curses are fear-based energies which are either repelled by goodwill or absorbed and transformed by it. And I'll speak on that in a little bit as well. The curses concept. You don't have to interact or react with these energies, or even pay them much attention pay them much attention at all. You don't have to interact or react with these energies, or even pay them much attention at all, if any. You just need to focus on how good you feel within yourself when you want everybody to win at their spiritual game of life. You'll get encouragement back when you need it, and of course, as you say to the universe, I want everyone to win. The universe says to you, I want you to win. Okay, so this card here, kind of two things stuck out to me here. Firstly, the friend that I mentioned that gave me this deck, that gifted me this deck, I just ran into them, 20 minutes ago as they came back to the residence here near, like, she's basically a neighbor, essentially. Point blank, I live in a homeless shelter at the moment, and one of the other tenants, the one who gave me the cards, was wearing a cheerleader outfit, which I thought was quite synchronistic when I saw it in the book here. And secondly, the curses idea. Anybody that tells you that curses are not real, do not believe them. I was up north in Humboldt County, California, not too long ago, within the past year and a half or so. I had a puppy, a Chihuahua Terrier mix. And in the course of my being a homeless gypsy, or like I call myself a gypsy, a free spirit, I was traveling. I was living in my car at the time. I was living in my car. I had my dog. I was out there on the corner of the gas station in the street, trying to get my gas can, get a, panhandling. I was panhandling because whatever. And this employee, some nobody employee, came out of the gas station and quite rudely ran me off the parking lot. And that's fine. Whatever. He's just doing his job. But he then went on to say, "I hope your dog dies." And within a week and a half, my dog had gotten parvo, and you can say much about that. There's a lot more to go into that, but the dog got parvo and died within a week and a half. And in spite of my best efforts to get him some medical help, to get his shots, to get him taken care of, he died. So, be careful of the words you speak. Words, the society teaches you that the whole sticks and stones thing, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That is absolutely garbage. Don't ever listen to that, because words are more powerful than any kind of physical injury you can ever suffer. And that dog dying was both a good and bad experience for me. It was horrible in the fact that I had to watch my best friend die. That dog was my best friend. I was alone. I have a few friends, here and there, human friends, but I was alone, and that dog was my comfort. He was my companion, my best friend. And to have to watch him suffer and die in my arms, and I was made very painfully aware that curses are not just some frou-frou term. It's not just fancy talk. It's real. That shit is very real. So be very careful of what you say to or about people, especially when you have intention behind it. And I know for a fact that that punk kid is probably going to get some serious karma for that, but I had to learn a lesson as well, because I was no more innocent than he was. I was spitting that same kind of stuff back at him. I was angry and lashing out, and I figured, I thought, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, but just don't. Every word you speak, speak it in love, speaking the truth, but do not speak ill on someone. Do not wish ill on someone, because that shit can happen and it will happen, and that's on you. So just be very careful what you say. Words are not just words. Words are the source of all reality. Sound is the source of all reality. The words you speak create reality, whether good or bad. The thoughts you think, the words you speak, the feelings you have in your heart, that is the source of reality. So just be very careful with how you speak. You know. Anyway. Um, anyway, that's what I've got for today. I hope you can understand what I was saying, and I hope Anyway, so there's your cards for today. Get them out there. Yes, there's those. So it's past, present, and future as it came out in the drawing. You see that? Yeah. The High Priestess, the Hangman, and the Knight of Wands. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. If you wouldn't mind, hit the like button and all that, fun YouTube button pushing stuff, the whole 9 yards. And I will see y'all later. Bye.